Detective Iris Storm uncovers a hidden lab of cloned politicians, realizing she's entangled in a deadly conspiracy. Detective Iris Storm stared at the mansion before her, its towering silhouette casting a dark shadow across the snow-covered grounds. It had been abandoned for years until now. The call came in at dawn. "We need you." Something's happening at the Delacroix Mansion, a place steeped in rumors, surrounded by whispers of power, deceit, and hidden agendas. Iris had a reputation for solving the unsolvable, but this one felt different. As she stepped out of the car, the wind bit at her skin. There was no one waiting outside, no welcome committee, only a cold, eerie silence that draped the estate like a shroud. She pulled her collar tighter around her neck and walked toward the main entrance. The doors groaned as they opened, revealing an unsettling stillness inside. Her heart skipped a beat when she saw the body, an elderly man dressed in a high-ranking politician's suit, his face frozen in a grimace of terror. "Who is he?" she whispered, bending to inspect the scene. The coroner who had arrived earlier nodded. "Jonas Avery, former senator. We found his body in the foyer. No signs of struggle, but look at his eyes." He saw something. Iris looked closer. The man's pupils were dilated, his expression one of sheer horror. What had he witnessed? "Where's the rest of the team?" Iris asked, eyeing the dark corners of the mansion. "They're still investigating the grounds," the coroner replied, "but there's something strange about the body. It's like he was poisoned, but not with anything we recognize." Iris's gaze drifted upward, catching a glimpse of something in the grand hallway. A flicker of movement, a shadow darting behind a velvet curtain. She wasn't alone. As Iris ventured deeper into the mansion, the sense of unease grew. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, that the truth was buried somewhere beneath the layers of opulence. The mansion was too pristine, too perfect for a place that had supposedly been abandoned. The air was thick with the scent of dampness. She found herself standing before a door hidden behind an ancient portrait. Its brass handle gleamed in the low light. Iris's instinct screamed that this was where she needed to be. She turned the handle, stepping into a narrow staircase that spiraled downward. The underground facility was unlike anything she had expected. It was a lab, an expansive, high-tech research center with sterile white walls and blinking machines. And in the center of the room, a row of glass pods. Each one contained a figure suspended in liquid, eerily lifelike. Their eyes closed, but their features hauntingly familiar. Politicians, she realized. Her heart pounded in her chest as she moved closer to one of the pods. The face inside, it was unmistakable. The late Senator Avery. But it wasn't just a copy. No, this was something more, an exact replica, created with terrifying precision. Clones, she muttered to herself, her mind racing. But why? Why would someone create clones of politicians? Suddenly, a voice broke the silence. "You shouldn't be here." Iris spun around to see a figure stepping out from the shadows. Tall, with piercing eyes and a calm demeanor. "You must be the detective," he said, his voice smooth and unsettling. "I'm Dr. Simon Kane. I oversee the research here." "Research?" Iris asked, her mind still grappling with the sight before her. "What kind of research?" "Not just any research, Detective," Dr. Kane replied. "We're working on a solution to the growing corruption in politics. A way to preserve leadership by creating perfect replicas. Clones of politicians who can't be swayed, bought, or corrupted. Imagine a world where leaders are invulnerable to the temptations of power." "You're playing God," Iris said, her voice sharp. "No," Dr. Kane responded calmly. "We're saving the world. One clone at a time." Iris's mind was a whirlwind. Cloning politicians? It sounded like a nightmare, a twisted version of power. But then the true horror of the situation sank in. If someone could clone politicians, could they replace them? Could a clone of a powerful leader be placed in power without anyone noticing? "I have to ask," Iris said, breaking the silence. "How long has this project been going on?" "Longer than you think," Dr. Kane replied cryptically. "The first success was over a decade ago. The clones are getting better. We've even managed to erase memories, alter personalities. Our creations are indistinguishable from the originals. Iris narrowed her eyes. You erased memories? So, they wouldn't know they were clones? Exactly, Dr. Kane said, his eyes darkening. And there are others, Detective. Powerful people, including some you'd never suspect, who are already part of this new world. A chill ran down Iris's spine as the implications of Dr. Kane's words sank in. What if some of the world's most influential politicians, leaders of nations, organizations, and corporations, were clones? What if the world was being controlled by something she couldn't even see? But as Iris looked at the rows of clones, something stood out. One of the figures had a different quality. Its features were off, subtly wrong. The face was a distortion, as if the clone had begun to deteriorate. It was as if the process hadn't been perfected. Iris felt an overwhelming need to uncover the truth, but she was being watched. Dr. Kane's cool demeanor shifted as he caught her staring at the flawed clone. Don't, he warned, his voice suddenly cold. That one's not ready. It was supposed to be a prototype. It should have never been exposed. But it was too late. Iris's hand was already on the glass, pressing against the surface, feeling the cool, slick surface beneath her fingers. Why? She asked, turning back to Kane. Why would you let something like this happen? Because, Kane replied, his voice becoming a whisper. It was supposed to be you? Iris froze. What do you mean? You see, Kane continued, your investigation has been planned all along. We needed you here. We needed you to uncover the truth about the clones and the ones who created them. You've been part of the experiment for months now, Detective. You're expendable. Iris's stomach churned. Everything, the body at the mansion, the lab, the twisted scheme, had been designed to lead her here. She was part of something far more sinister than she'd imagined. Her mind raced. The truth was too dangerous, too terrible. The world was on the brink of a conspiracy so deep she might not make it out alive. As Iris prepared to leave, the mansion's security systems suddenly activated. The doors slammed shut, locking her inside. A voice echoed through the intercom system. You have no idea how deep this goes, Detective. You're not leaving this mansion. Not until you see the truth. But Iris had one last card to play. She'd seen too much, understood too little. Yet, she had a theory, one she couldn't prove, but knew to be true. There was someone pulling the strings from the shadows. This isn't just about cloning. It was about control, and in the labyrinth of deception, Iris was trapped in a game with no clear winner. Would Iris escape the mansion and uncover the truth? Or had she, like the politicians before her, already become a puppet in a deadly game of power? The clock was ticking, and the answers were buried beneath a foundation of lies.